my secret now. I see dead people.
Welcome to Blondes and Booze. You are about to embark on a journey, one that often leads to more questions than answers. But fear not, your host, Krista, Aaron, and Brandy have the experience, the perseverance, and yes, even the gifts to pull back the veil and allow us to glimpse the other side. They will share not only their experiences, but will introduce you to world-renowned researchers and experiencers to help you find answers in the murky waters of what we call the paranormal. Their bonds with each other reach far beyond friendship, resulting in a pull-no-punches approach to the many subjects they explore. Their goal? To open eyes, hearts, and even minds to what lies on the other side, and the answers residing there.
I hate when I do that. Oh my gosh. I hate when I do that. I'm sorry.
It's Sunday afternoon. What are you going to do? It's Sunday afternoon.
I'm telling you, that's crazy. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this special Sunday afternoon show.
Welcome, welcome.
Yay. We have Evidential Medium Michael Christopher, and some of you may remember him. He's been on our show several times. And for the new ones, he's fantastic. He's a friend of ours, and we always enjoy when he comes on.
Exactly. You know, I've been waiting for this. I mean, we kind of got our dates confused, but hey, that's why we're on a special day.
Yep.
But we don't mind coming on again.
We don't.
Chris and I have no lives. This is it.
This is our outside life of work, right?
Right.
Pretty much. So anyway, but we do appreciate everybody tuning in. And there's a couple of announcements that we need to make. Brandy, you want to remind everybody what to watch real quick?
Yes, absolutely. On Mondays at 7 p.m., it's Texas Front Porch with, of course, Tex and myself. On Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central, it is Bigfoot Michigan Rob with Beyond BMR. On Wednesday at 7 p.m., it's Donnie Cho Says Stuff. And at 8 p.m., it is, of course, Barton Nunnelly with the Inhumanoids. On Thursday at 12 p.m. Central, it's a Brunch with Bigfoot Michigan Rob. Thursday evenings, of course, it's us at 8 p.m. Central with the Blondes and Booze. On Friday, same time, 8 p.m. Central, it's Blondes, Booze, and the Woo. And on Saturday, of course, we have Tex again with Infamous Minds, and he'll be dropping his newest episodes. On Sunday, special shout out to Midwest Night Watchers at 6 p.m. Central with Piercing the Veil.
Absolutely.
Did I miss anybody?
I think you got everybody. You rock it.
Yay!
You rock this, man. Definitely rock this. There's something else. A lot of you know who Nellie Turner is, Josh Turner's wife. And she is in the hospital, and she could truly use everybody's prayers. So if everybody could please add Nellie Turner to their prayer list, she could really use them. That would be appreciated. Yeah. So anyway, how this is going to work for those of you that are new, we're gonna talk to Michael, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes just about how he got into this crazy world that we all live in and what he does and all that good stuff. And he's gonna do some viewer readings. And so how that's going to work is that you have to be on our YouTube channel to get a reading, first thing. Second thing is he's just whoever he's drawn to. So when he talks about something that resonates with you, comment in the chat. It may or may not be you. That's just kind of how it works. It's just whoever, if any of your loved ones come to him and have a message for you, that's how it works. It's not like, hey, can I have a reading, or this person have a reading? It's just how it works. It's all spirit, however they want to do it. So
absolutely. Because, as much as we want to hear from our loved ones, sometimes they're just not ready to talk, or they're just not available to you right now. But that doesn't mean anything. They're still around, they're still watching, they're there.
And then maybe that's something we can talk with Michael about too, about
absolutely
and stuff too. So
I talked about him on the show the other night. He's the no BS kind of medium, and that's, I have to stress this, is I don't like fluff in my readings. I don't like that. It's like, if you have a message for me, let's get down to it. Let's just talk about it. And he's that guy for me. He has caught my attention a couple times already. It's just, I'll be watching him online, and then all of a sudden he'll call me right out. He'll be like, Brandy, I have to tell you something. And I'm like, okay, all right, but he's absolutely wonderful. We love him a lot, and we're glad to have him on the show.
Yep, absolutely. Hello.
And there he is.
Voila. Just by the click of a button, there he is.
I know.
Well, thank you so much for that great introduction.
Well, we appreciate you coming in and doing this with for sure. We I don't know what I did with the date. I truly don't. What date did you have down? Because I keep a spreadsheet, and
I screwed up royally. I think I had it down for January.
You might have.
So when you messaged me, I was like, oh, thank God, because I didn't have anything planned, so I could have jumped on there. But when you said you were double booked, I'm like, well, good, because I wasn't ready.
I am such an airhead.
We need to look at that to see if we still have them in January, because we might want to keep that.
I have a habit of screwing up my calendar, so yeah, it's not uncommon for me.
I hear you.
I am truly blonde. If I had hair, it would be blonde. No offense to blondes, but things usually.
I gotcha. I totally understand. So why don't you talk about how you got into doing what you do?
Into all this. So yeah, and I'll condense it because it's a long story that spans almost 20 years. But I always start out with, this was definitely not something I was looking for, nothing I was even thinking about. I am not one of those people that had experiences throughout their life. I had absolutely no experiences with the paranormal at all, through 45 years. That's when everything started happening. Mm-hmm. But, for like many of us that get pulled into this, and I got to stress that everybody has these abilities. We're born with them. It comes from spirit. We are spirit. I believe we go back to spirit once we leave the physical world. So I just want to stress that this is something that we all possess, but normally it doesn't come out until, the common thing is when we go through something very traumatic. Mm-hmm. That seems to be the theme with a lot of mediums. And for me, from 1997 through 2015, I'll really keep this short, but I lost two of my brothers. Jason passed at 26 from complications with cystic fibrosis. In between his passing and my other brother getting two double lung transplants, two separate ones, he went through one in 2001 and then another one in 2000, I think it was 7 or 8. But in between that, I went through kidney failure. I had a kidney transplant in 2010. So that's a whole nother story there. But then Danny, he ended up passing after going through the transplants. Actually, his kidneys failed. He had to start dialysis. And then eventually, about a year later, he passed from lymphoma cancer in his lungs. And he was 42. That dude, I look at that, what he went through, and I was like, and we had these conversations when he went through 2 lung transplants. And I think at that point I had gone through mine. I was like, dude, I don't know how you did it. This is a one-time good deal for me. Because The physical part was easy. The mental side of this, going through something like that, is just, hats off to anybody that goes through this, because it's crazy. It's crazy what you go through. But the reward is life itself. It really is. I mean, it's but to go through it twice, I'm like, I don't know where he got that courage from.
No.
But,
Wow. What a strong person he was,
Yeah. And then, to top it off, then in 2015, my sister was murdered. And that's really what started this. Because it was an experience I had about 2 months after she passed. I had an experience with her. And it was in my kitchen one morning while I was getting ready for work, of all things. We look at TV and we look at what we see on TV and how people experience spirit. For me, that experience was nothing like that. It wasn't like she walked in the room, I saw her standing there. It was not like that. It was an experience like I was going about getting ready for work at 5 a.m. And it felt like somebody had walked in the room. And I turned around and nobody was there. And I was like, well, that was weird. So I went back to doing what I was doing. And maybe just a minute later, I felt it again. But this time, in my mind, I could see my sister standing behind me. And I was like, what the hell's going on? This is weird. And in my mind, I saw her walk up behind me. And she kind of just put her arms around me and put her head on my shoulder. So I got to explain how I experienced this, because in my mind, I was seeing this. But I also felt the energy of it. And it just stopped me in my tracks, because I at that point, I thought, I'm losing my mind. I had never experienced anything like that. And it was maybe a few 30 seconds, maybe, and then it kind of just dissipated. And I don't think I talked about it for a week or two, beyond that. And when I eventually did, it was with 2 psychics. And oddly enough, I reached out. This is another long story, so I'll condense it. But I found these psychics that work on these unsolved murders. And I got to know these 2 ladies. They were helping me out. They didn't ask for anything for themselves. They were just helping me. They were giving me information. So we kind of built this rapport. And after a few weeks, I was like, I have to mention something about this to one of them. And I didn't give any details, but I just told them I had this experience. And they immediately connected with my sister, and they validated that experience was real,
Wow.
And that was kind of the turning point for me. And then a conversation maybe a few weeks later with one of the ladies. While I was talking with her, I all of a sudden I heard this voice in my head say, tell her it's, I don't remember her father's name, but tell her it's Steve. Okay, I'll use Steve. And I was like, where the hell did that come from? I ignored it, kept talking to her, and I heard it again. The third time, he's like, tell her, Steve, I passed the cancer. And I was like, Linda is her name. I said, Linda, I got to stop you. I'm having this, I don't know what the hell's going on, but I said, I hear this voice. It's telling me to tell you it's Steve and that I passed the cancer. And she said, that's my father. And I was like, what?
Wow.
She goes, that's my dad. And I was like, okay. And she proceeds to tell me that, well, you're a medium, and no, I'm not. We had this argument for probably 5 or 10 minutes. And she goes, you are. So she said, why don't you do this? Why don't you, she recommended a teacher. She goes, take this class. It's a beginning intuition class. Just take it, see what happens. So I took this class, and, it was a 4-week class on just basic, going through the clairs, so each week we worked on a different clair. The first week was clairvoyance. And once we went through this first exercise, and I learned that most mediums actually, when we experience spirit, it's within our mind, not externally. So for me, all these years, and I got to add, I had read about mediums for 20 years. It was just something I did. It was fascination, watching John Edward on TV. And once I learned that it's mental mediumship and how it worked, I was like, holy crap. Then I started putting the pieces together where I could go back and remember experiencing different things, and oh, that's what that was. So there again, it was there. I just didn't realize it.
Right. And I agree with you I believe everybody has that ability, even if it's something as subtle as that gut feeling.
Yeah.
That's part of it,
Absolutely is. But what do we do as humans? We ignore it. We pass it
Yeah.
off as, circumstance or coincidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've learned that your gut will never lie to you,
Absolutely.
So.
Paranormal
Well-
Pixie has a question for you real quick. Put it up here.
Pixie.
She says, who did you take your classes with? Mine have been with Sarah Lamos and Cindy Kaza.
Actually, I studied with Cindy Kaza, me and Jessica. That's how I met Jessica Potter, because her and we took a couple classes with Cindy. This is probably 3-4 years ago now.
Yeah.
But the woman that I took classes with, she no longer teaches. Actually, she kind of pulled back from this work. But, we're still close. We talk every now and then. But thank God I met her, because she was, very down to earth and really set a good foundation for me to learn.
Yeah.
Right. Well, talking about pulling back, now we know your story and that you had found this out and then you had a job.
Oh, yeah.
And tell everybody what that job was. I mean, because this totally amazes me.
So, yeah, I was career military. I served for 20 years. I retired in 2009. But my career in the Air Force was air traffic control. And once I retired from the Air Force, I continued on with that career field until April of this year. This year, I kind of put that aside to do this work full time. So, yeah, I was a career air traffic controller for 33 years. And for a lot, since 2015, I tried to balance the best I could doing both of these at the same time, which, it was a handful.
Well, I can imagine. I mean, did you ever have like something coming through when you're trying to direct traffic?
No. One thing I learned right from the start was boundaries. And I still develop those boundaries because they change. But realistically, in the beginning, it was like another reason I loved, Mimi is her name, that she taught me this. It's like, you have to set your boundaries with spirit. I mean, she said, get out a pad of paper and write down. And it's like literally because spirit is very literal, right? So it's like, I literally wrote, like, don't bother me when I'm sleeping. Don't bother me at work. The only time I want to communicate with you is when I sit down to do this work. Outside of that, stay away. And that's how it's been. Because people often ask that question, how do you manage this? And for me, it's simple. When I am not doing this work, I am not doing this work. I am going about my daily life. And it's both a discipline and a boundary that you have to instill, because you can't start doing both and just playing, throughout the day here and there with it. For me, it's like, no, when I'm not working, I don't talk about it. I don't think about it. Work is work. And when I'm not working, I'm not working.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to talk to people a little bit about, because, we've all lost loved ones. And people think, oh, they're not coming to me. I haven't seen them in my dreams. Are they okay? You want to explain to people maybe how they need to just open their mind and look around. It could be something as simple as a song, maybe, or a bird, or just, talk to people about that, maybe.
So absolutely. I mean, one thing you have to understand is, and this, I believe, comes from religion, is we think of heaven and we think that there's somewhere else. Their world is right here with ours. Their world interacts with ours. We just can't physically perceive them because it's a vibration, it's energy, right? And the analogy I like to use, because it's easy for me to picture, is picture a helicopter. Okay, when it's not running, you can see the blades, right? That's the physical world. But when that engine starts and the blades start spinning, the blades are there. It's just now they're at such a speed that we cannot see them. But damn well, if you stick your hand up there, you're going to lose your hand. It's there. Right. It's the same thing with the spirit world. They are there. I know that now. It's not a belief I have. I know they are there. And they're here amongst us. And in reference to your question, they want nothing more for us to understand that they are here with us. They will go out of their way tirelessly to get our attention. And like you said, they'll do it through several ways. I mean, a song, a memory. If you're just going about your day and all of a sudden somebody pops into your head, you start having this thought or memory of somebody that you're connected with that is on the other side, more than likely that's them just popping in to say hello. But what do we do in our human mind? Tries to say, no, it's just coincidence.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not, in my belief anyway, that's not true. They are here. They're trying to get your attention. And again, once you understand how spirit works and how they communicate, you know, we have to put aside, they no longer have the physical instrument, right? So they don't communicate through sound. They don't have that physical instrument. So now it's all thought. But the second you think of somebody that is past, that you're connected with, they are there with you at that moment. You know, a lot of people think, well, I'm pulling them away from somewhere. No, you're not. They're no longer in a body. They can be in more than one location at one time. So when you think of them, you just have to know that they are there with you at that moment. And, you know, all you got to do is reach out, send them a thought, ask them a question. You're going to get an answer, but you just have to understand that it's not going to come in the way that you probably expect it. You know,
or even want
true.
it. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, it's you know, I know speaking in the past, you know, myself, you know, I just so bad wanted to see my grandma and, you know, but I've since learned she sends me messages all the time, you know, just not in the way that I had expected it. I wanted to see her, physically see her. And I've understand, you know, it's not how that works, you know?
No, and that's a good point, because after my sister passed, and it's a long story with her, our relationship, but I remember I was like, I want to see you. You know, I kept saying, I want to see you. I want to physically see you. And I remember her message to me with that almost demand that I was putting on her. It was like, look, and I'm paraphrasing, this is not the way the communication, but this is the way I perceived the message. She basically said, it's like, look at it this way. She goes, if you see me, if I present to you, what's that going to do? It's going to I'm going to want to see that again and again and again. And she said, you know, you got to understand that I am no longer in the physical world. I will never be back in the physical world with you. You have to understand that that's just the way it is. Know that I am still somewhere. We are going to see each other again. But that wanting, it's just going to lead to an unhealthy, I think it's going to be unhealthy. Because you're always going to be looking for it, and you just have to understand and learn to live without that person being here in the physical world.
Right.
So, and again, it comes in also with closure with that. It's going to reopen everything if you have that experience.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of, it's a matter of closure too. And just the reality of it is she's not here.
Right. And here's another thing too, that I've heard people talk about, you know, like they just lost a loved one that, you know, recently, you know, and they're wanting messages, you know, like, so they contact, you know, psychic mediums and stuff. You know, what do you believe about that? Because I believe like there's an adjustment period over there first, you know, I mean, you're not going to, I don't feel like you're going to lose your loved one today and then be able to go to somebody such as yourself tomorrow and get a full reading. You know, can you talk about that at all? Or
actually it's quite opposite. So first of all, when we pass, okay, and this is my belief, this is what I've always believed with this, we're not going to somewhere that's unfamiliar. That's our true existence, is spirit and soul. This is the temporary experience. So in my mind, it's like, you know, you hear of people, the theory of spirits being trapped here. To me, I don't believe that, for very good reason, because once we leave the body, we're free. I think people get the idea of trapped in spirit willfully being in a place where they live their physical life. They're not stuck. They're just there because that's where they experience the memories that they have. They want to re-experience that from time to time, so they come back. But I feel once we're out of this body, it's like waking up from a dream, you know, and it's like, that's our true reality. We're back in our true home. And I can back that up with, I've sat with people, because I don't know anything about these people when they come for a reading. And there's been a few that I find out that their loved one just passed like 2 days ago. communication, I can't tell by communicating because it's just the same as it would be as if I'm communicating with somebody that passed 40 years ago.
Right.
So to me, it's instant. But what I caution people is it's us. We have to allow ourselves to go through that grieving process. We have to go, I believe, for a healthy, what am I trying to say? Moving forward in a healthy way is, I believe you got to allow yourself to go through that process. You got to get to that point where you understand that they're not physically here.
Right.
Because if you go to a session right away, nothing a medium is going to say is going to bring you any relief, I believe.
Yeah.
Because you're still in such that traumatic state that your mind is still trying to comprehend what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So again, and it's up to the person. I will never say, don't do this. This is just my suggestion, my opinion. But I believe you should get to a point where you can think about that person in spirit and begin to smile and remember good memories about that person. And just, you've reached that point where you're at a healthy place in your healing process.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yep. And there's no time limit on how long grief lasts. I mean, people are like, you should be over this or whatever, and sometimes you don't, grief for everybody is different.
I believe, and you're exactly right. Nobody gets over it. And I don't think you ever will, and you never should. Our people that we are connected with, they're always going to be part of our life, and I believe an important role that mediums play is validating that we are going to see these people again. This is just a temporary separation, if you will.
Absolutely. War Criminal 7 asked you, are they, I think he means in areas that make it easier for spirit to manifest and communicate? Are they in areas?
No. And again, this is just my perception, my opinion, my experience from what, from my work that I've done over almost, I think it's 9 years now, which isn't a whole lot of time. But you got to understand this. Spirit communication is easy. It's we get in the way. Whatever your mind thinks is reality. So if you think I need to be in this place or I need to be in Sedona, Arizona to communicate with spirit, your mind is going to manifest that. And it's going to be a perceived block, if you will, that I have to be in Sedona to communicate with spirit. If you have that thought, then that's your reality. To me, it's like, I know that once I just shift my mind to spirit world, I'm connected with them.
Yeah.
The moon phases, Mercury retrograde, all that does not affect spirit communication at all. That's my belief. That's what I believe. But if you believe that, if that's your reality, then that's going to be your experience, that I can't communicate during Mercury retrograde. So again, we put all these obstacles in our way where it's like, no.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to let everybody know who's recently hopped into chat how this is going to work. Number one, you have to be on our YouTube channel because Facebook comes up as Facebook user, so we can't tell who is who. Second thing is spirit is just gonna come to Michael, and if he says something that it possibly resonates with you, comment, and sometimes we can narrow it down. So not everybody's guaranteed a reading. That's not really how this here works, and it's all up to spirit. It's not even up to Michael who is chosen. So just keep that in mind. And also he's trying to grow his YouTube channel. So I have dropped the link in chat and I will continue to do that. If you guys would go over there and like his YouTube channel, I'm sure he'd appreciate that. And sometimes you do live readings on your Facebook page too. I've watched them.
Oh yeah. We do once a week. My friend Jennifer and I, we used to have a show on a radio station that recently shut down. So we do it Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Central on my channel or my Facebook page and hers. And I'm beginning to simulcast that as well onto my YouTube channel. And all that information is on my website. You can go on my website. There's a tab at the top that says live broadcasts. So that's where I put my schedule. But yeah, so thank you for the shout out there with that. And getting back to, so this is, this environment, it's just like a group reading. So this would be as commonly known as like a mediumship demonstration.
Yeah.
And it's spirit led. I never go to the chat just as if I'm standing in front of a group of people. I put my mind to spirit. I step out of the way, if you will. That's the job of a medium, is to get your conscious mind out of the way. And it's literally whoever gets my attention first, I just start communicating with.
Yeah.
And they give me information, and then I pass it off to the audience, and then whoever can take it.
And also here's another thing too. I know sometimes, if you're watching right now and it's not resonating with you, tonight, tomorrow, 2 weeks from now, you'll be like, oh man, that makes sense now, things like that. So you have to understand that part of it as well.
Yeah, because I'm a terrible sitter. If I sit for somebody, I'm like, I have a terrible memory. So most of the stuff, I'm like deer in the headlights, and dates especially. I have no idea. I forget my birthday most times, so I understand that, especially too, if you've never had the experience of sitting with a medium. I've had people just stare at me and can't even talk. And they'll come up to me later and just say, I'm sorry, I didn't respond, but they were in shock. And it's the first time you have an experience where things start connecting to you with somebody that's passed, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Let me, whenever you're ready, Michael, totally up to you.
Yeah. I was just
remember, I just want to, put this out there too, that these are not full readings. These are just a little,
this is
a little
like
rush of information. So
kind of like a postcard from the other side. It's
that's a good way to put that.
Yeah. And when I read too, it's very, very important. Don't make things fit. Before you can claim the information, it's got to 85% or better. It's got to resonate. 85% of the information, it's got to fit. I don't change things, so I give it as it is, and I just go with that. So if you can connect with the information coming through, just go ahead and say a claim, or I can connect. Actually, just say yes. If 85% or more makes sense, just put yes in the comments. And then it also helps if you can type in what makes sense to you. And this is an example. So if I start talking and I can already feel them, I start stuttering. Right? I don't know why. But if I say, like, for instance, example, if I have a man with me now, and he makes me feel that he was a woodworker, right? And so this could be a contact right now because I feel this guy. So I'm just going to go with it. So let me just know if this makes sense. So I do have a gentleman with me that I want to work with. First thing he does, he shows me a woodworking shop. That's where he's got me. He is making me aware that he would have passed in his 70s. He is making me feel cancer. And I already feel this guy could tell some stories. Holy crap. I just feel like not only
like you got a big funny, one that came through all of a sudden. Bam.
Yeah. So let me just see if anybody connects with that. So again, I do have a gentleman that is in my presence. I feel that he was in his 70s when he passes. He does make me feel that he passed of cancer. The first thing he took me to was his wood shop. So I feel that he would have worked did some type of woodworking. So I'll just see if that connects with anybody. But that was just the example I was going to talk about. So that's kind of how, things begin. I just become aware of their presence. Whatever they put in my mind, I talk about.
Yeah. Okay.
And if it connects, it connects, but that's what I'm feeling.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So. I'm just seeing if there's anybody that connects with that. And I won't spend too much time if it doesn't. Somebody may watch this later and it connects with them.
That's true too.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Yep. Might connect to somebody else who's not even watching right now.
Yeah. And I'm looking at Anne's comment. So one thing I do, I do not predict the future. And I believe that most psychics do not predict the future. Because the future's not here. Future is still, in flux. It hasn't happened yet. There's free will. So no,
Right.
when I do a psychic reading, for me, it's connecting with the person's energy. And if they're going through something at that moment, I can connect with their energy and maybe help them understand why this may be happening based on things that they've experienced throughout their life.
Yep.
So that's a quick overview of like psychic for me. Again, it's helping people realize that they're not stuck, that they just need to go inside and figure out why is this happening. A good example is relationships, right? People have these on and off again. They can't seem to stay in relationships. And they can't figure out why. You know, most of the time it's because of something they experienced early on in life that they now have these trust issues.
Yeah.
And psychic reading, you know, connecting with their energy brings them back to that time, helps them understand, okay, this is where this started. Now you have to actually go back and do the work and heal that trauma, if you will.
Right.
And usually once you work on that, it seems to like open up the flow to where, okay, I can have a normal relationship. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I didn't see if anybody connected with that. Again,
Didn't see
I'll just
anything
throw it out
yet.
one more time. So a male passes in his 70s. I do see him passing of cancer. And again, I know that he would have liked woodworking. And I'll just leave it at that and see if anybody can connect with that. And then I don't know, is there any other questions or?
Not yet.
Okay, I'm just kind of.
Did you bring your cards?
I can do the rebel cards.
I like the rebel cards. These are so
You
funny.
like the cards.
I know, they're so funny. They're just so today. You know what I mean? And we normally laugh at these, but they do make sense in a way.
I do want to talk because now I'm feeling another person with me. So,
Okay.
So I am feeling the presence of a younger man. I want to say man. Oh, I feel that he was, he's bringing me to 19. So that's where I see he was or where he was when he passes. Just see what he's making me aware of here. I do feel that he would have passed in an accident. That's what he's making me feel. I just get this feeling, okay, around his passing that there's a misunderstanding of his passing. He's making me feel that some people may have felt this was an intentional crossing, like that he was responsible for his passing, but he's making me feel, no, this was accidental.
Wow.
He is making me aware of an August birthday. So let me just see if that, and again, if you're in the comments and this makes sense to you, just go ahead and acknowledge it. Again, 19 years old. I do feel that this was he is showing me a vehicle. So with the accident, now I am aware of a vehicle. But again, he's stressing that this was not an intentional passing. It was an accident. So Crystal, my dad was in his 70s. He did die. Crystal, let me just throw this out because this is what I was feeling when he was showing me cancer. He was showing me like colon cancer. So would you understand that around your dad?
We're right back.
Okay.
And Crystal, again, he's also making me aware, like I'm just feeling his personality. I just feel like he could tell stories. I just feel like he could tell a good story. Okay. So in that area. Okay. Crystal, I'm also feeling like a March connection that I need to talk about. So do you understand a March connection with your father or somebody connected to the family? Because I am brought to the month of March. I want to say this is a birthday.
Paranormal Pixie says, my grandfather died in his 70s of colon cancer and rebuilt antique clocks.
Okay.
And then Sherry Griffey says, my father-in-law died from a coon.
So again, and this could be a piggyback, so I just have to stick to what the information is that they're giving me.
Yep.
So maybe I am with, is it Laura?
Laura, Paranormal Pixie.
Laura, would you understand him to have a sense of humor and could tell stories? Like, I just feel like I could listen to this guy talk about stories.
Thank you, Sheila, for becoming a member.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, lots of woodworking tools. Okay.
So now Sherry Griffey also says, though, father-in-law died from, so.
Yeah, if it connects, what'll eventually happen is I'll eventually get it down to one. So again, I have to acknowledge March. So Laura, you understand the stories. Do you understand a March connection to your father or somebody in the family? Because I was being brought to talk about March, and I'm also feeling this is a birthday, and I'm seeing the number 7 with that as well. 7 could be separate, but I do need to talk about March.
Well, Sherry Griffey says, I recently put on Facebook 2 wood items that my father-in-law had made.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, keep listening to Sherry. A lot of times spirit will come in together and they're very efficient. So your father could be also staying here. Or father-in-law. I just don't see them with my eyes. So they could definitely both be here. And this is very common.
Yep.
His birthday was in March. Okay. Cause that's what he was showing me, the March birthday. Let me just get to a message real quick, Laura. So Laura, it's interesting because the first thing he's showing me like 2 different things. So the first thing though, it's directly related to you. He's like, give yourself a break. He's making me feel like you're putting way too much pressure on yourself to please other people. And this is very common, I know, but this is what your father is making me feel. I don't know if he used colorful language. He's like, basically stop giving an F what other people think. And he also he shows me his gravesite. So this could be just a way for me to talk about it, but he's making me feel like it's okay not to go there. So I don't know if that makes sense to you. And Laura, I do feel like this is your dad definitely stepping more forward. But for the other people it resonates, please take this as a hello from your family as well. Okay, don't just push it off to. If that resonated with you, just know that your loved one is also here. He was
Sorry
very
if
close. Okay.
That was a dog.
Okay. So you understand that. Okay. So Laura, I just want to leave you with that, okay? And just know that that was just his way of coming through to say hello to you. He says also, stop ignoring my signs. So if you're getting signs, he's like, stop ignoring them. Know that that is him, okay? Oh, this is your grandfather? Okay.
Here's an awesome kudos to you, Michael. Just want to thank you because a few months ago you told me to get a second opinion on cancer. And thanks to that, they got my cancer by surgery.
Holy crap. Okay. I very appreciative that you would, give me that feedback. I do appreciate it. But just understand too, if that came out in a way, because I don't predict medical, if it comes out, it's just sometimes I don't even think about it. So I don't predict medical or give medical. But thank goodness. That's the way spirit comes through sometimes. And they'll just tell you, because again, I've had it to where they say, you should probably get a checkup. So it's very subtle. Again, they won't say, hey, you have this, you need to get a check. They may say, they may give me the feeling like, hey, go get a checkup. It's been a while.
Well, he said, I guess he had a reading with you. And he said, my mother told you to tell me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank goodness. I'm glad that worked out for the good.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Let's see.
I want to go back to what you were talking about when you were talking about somebody about the age of 19.
Yep.
An accident.
Brandy, I just got pulled to you like full force. Is this person
You
connected
had
to
to.
you? As
You
soon as
had
you
to.
said that, I'm like, my attention, the energies went right to you.
Right.
And this person now feels familiar.
Yeah. He should feel familiar to you.
Is this cousin?
A nephew.
Nephew. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Because I now he's making me remember that I have. Yeah, because it was a show we're doing, and I think it was your daughter was having these experiences, and he was like, "That's me. That's me. That's me."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's reminding me of this now.
Right. Because I was listening to you, and then, because you said 19, he was 21, but he wasn't very mature. So when you say 19, I'm like, yeah, that goes right along with it.
Yeah, if it's in that, I can give or take a little bit, because if it's around that age within a couple of years, yeah. But if I said 19 and he was 35, then I'd be like, no, that's not him. But that's that age group right in that 19, 20-ish, early 20s.
Right.
So,
See, and my mother was validating you. She's watching you in another room, and she was piping in while you were talking. So I had to black out and go talk to her for a second and come back. So, I'm thinking this might be for her, because it resonated with her just like that.
Okay, I just got to say this, because now this is what he makes me feel as far as thought. He's like, stop like obsessing that there's something that you could have done. That's the feeling he gives me. So I don't know if she's carrying that, but he's like, stop that thought. This is kind of out there, but he just showed me marbles. Is there any connection to marbles with him?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know. It's just, as I'm saying that, he showed me like a bag of marbles.
Okay. I will write that down, because I'm not sure about that.
And I'm asking him what he means, and he makes me feel that this is something that he would have said, like somebody's losing their marbles. I feel like this was something that was said often. It's like a joke. Are you losing your marbles? That's the context he's giving it to me in right now. So if that's something that you would have.
There's my mother in chat, Sharon Butcher. She's saying yes.
Okay, yes to the marbles.
Yep. Yeah.
He brings me. He wants me to talk about his haircut. So was there something that you connect? He's got me attention on his hair. Is there something that he used to do with his hair that was not normal? Because he's like, make me feel like he did something to get attention, and it was with his hair.
Remember those haircuts that you used to get that they had the really long bangs? I want to call them bangs, as it being a girl. This is really long bangs, and he'd always be flipping his hair. He just had that short on the sides and that long front.
Okay, because that's where he's got me attention. So if that was something that he was known for doing like often, I can take that, because that's what he's making me feel like. He wanted me to talk about his hair. He's also making me feel that he liked to spend a lot of time by himself, because he makes me feel like he was very reflective, if you will. I just feel like he liked his alone time. It just feels like he's making me feel almost like me, like very introverted. He could be extroverted when he needed to, but he's just making me feel he was very comfortable when he was by himself. Does that make sense?
Yeah. He was very much a video game kid. You know what I mean? So he would spend hours just by himself playing video games, enjoying himself, So that makes sense.
I just got to say this, because I feel that he was very empathetic in the way that he was very affected by other people's energy and like the cruelness around the world. That bothered him. And that's where he's making me feel like that's why I kind of like my alone time, because it bothered him. Mm-hmm. He didn't like people being cruel to each other.
Right. Absolutely true.
Awesome.
Let me just see what else he wants to talk about, though. He shows me a squirrel, so I'm curious to see where he goes with this. Would he feed a squirrel? I don't know. He's got my attention, like looking at a squirrel. I'm like, what's with this squirrel? And he shows me feeding this squirrel. Does that make any sense?
I don't know anything about that, but that is definitely possible. That would be something he would do. Yes.
Okay.
It would be something he would do.
Because he's making me feel like I had this connection with animals.
Yes, he did. Especially
okay.
I have 2 wiener dogs, and he had lived with us for some time, and them dogs loved him. They loved him more than me. Yeah. And he'd always be talking to him and feeding them and just loving on him. And I'm like, they like him more than me. So
He also makes me feel that he would cook. Literally, this is what he's showing me. He's making me feel like he would do things for people. Nobody would ask him to do this, but it was like his way of showing appreciation. He's just making me feel like he would do things. When you said he lived with you, he's just making me feel like he would do things around the house just to show he appreciated being there. Does that make sense at all? And if it doesn't, that's fine. But he's just.
now I worked a lot. So that may resonate with my mom or
Okay.
his dad more.
Okay. But yeah, he just gives me this feeling like he would just help out because he wanted people to know that he appreciated what other people did for him.
Yeah, because he was always the type of kid that would do anything you told him to do. If you told him to do it, he's on it. There's no questions. There's no whining. He's just right up on it. So yeah.
Okay. He really wants me to talk about this. He brings me to his passing. And he just wants everybody to know that he did not feel pain. He did not suffer. He's making me feel like you need to know that. So I hope that makes sense, but that's what he wants you to know. In July,
I kind of think this is more for my mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, July, he wants me to talk about the month of July. So is there a July connection with him? Let me just see if he makes me. I'm kind of like reading the comments.
He's very talkative.
Yeah. There's something about family gathering in the month of July. Because I asked him what's with the month of July, and he talks about like a gathering. So
That sounds about right.
okay. So I just want to leave it at that, and just that's his way of just coming through to say a quick hello. But again, he really wants people to stop worrying about the way he passed and just know that he did not feel pain. That's what he wants me to say.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Oh, July 4th. Okay. Well, that would make sense. I didn't even,
Yeah.
He didn't show me the 4th, but he was just July.
Yeah.
So I'm just, okay. Yeah. I'll kind of leave it at that.
Yeah. That's fine. Hey, Krista, do you want to take a 5-minute break and let Michael
Yep.
clear his little brain,
Yep, for
clear
sure.
his area, and start
Yep.
again? Because I know that it gets overwhelming at times, especially when you're doing these at a fast pace. So why don't we take a 5-minute break and
Yep.
we'll start again in just a little bit.
Okay.
Yep. Sounds good.
All
We'll
right.
be back in 5 minutes, guys. Stay
All right.
tuned.
telling me that I should throw it all away. Fight so hard, my heart is hardly helpless. Find myself so desperate on my knees to break. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for sticking around with us. Once again, just want to remind everybody how this works. Just if the spirit comes to Michael, then he's going to say what he's getting. So it may or may not resonate with you today. It could be tomorrow or the day after. So if it does resonate with you, just comment yes. That's all he asked. And then we'll go from there. So...
All right. I got to go back. I was reading the comments and someone mentioned Walter White in Breaking Bad. I get that all the freaking time. I went on, when I started doing lives on TikTok, I kept seeing these comments about, it's Walter White. I'm like, who the hell's Walter White? And I've been told I look like this guy for years. And I didn't know his name. And then my wife said something about it. I'm like, oh, that guy. Yeah, I get that shit all the time.
That's funny. That's a good deal.
But
Make me start calling you Walter.
oh my God. Now that I get it, it's funny, but I was like, who the hell's, I mean, it was literally, it was comment after comment. Hey, Walter White's doing readings on TikTok. I'm like, who the hell's Walter? now I know. So
That's funny.
yeah. So I'm curious if anybody has any questions about like mediumship, you know, those type of questions, anything curious.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of people like to ask, you know, talk about their experiences that they've had, or, you know, most people want validation that, you know, the things that they experience are real, you know, and it's hard when you don't have anybody to talk to because, you know, unless you have a group of people like this who are very open, a lot of people have experiences and they just don't have anybody to
Not
share
open to
with,
it. Yeah.
you know, and it can be,
Can you pull me a rebel card?
yeah, of course. Oh, wow. This one all right. So this one, you're giving your power away.
You're giving your power away.
You're a badass, act like it.
Okay.
So with that, I just feel it's like, don't let people push you around. You know, which is, I mean, I think we can all take that advice.
You know, honestly, it kind of resonates with something I'm going through now, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. And I think a lot of people, you know, when they feel that's happening to them, I just feel it's like the person doing this to you I don't feel it's intentional. Sometimes they're just in their own world and just they behave that way for whatever reason, but you just have to stop.
100% resonates with me, huh, Brandy?
Yeah, it does. It does. You know, that's why I love these cards. It's like they're just so in your face. It's like, there you are.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of it's just for fun, you know, a good laugh, but it's funny how they resonate. And usually what happens is I start to feel into somebody's energy around it and it'll connect somewhere, you know, something that they're going through like right now. So, I mean, I could do that. Like I said, 3:30, I probably have to go.
We usually, we only go an hour and a half total.
Oh, okay, good.
Yes.
Yeah, if you want me to pull some cards for people, I can do that for a bit. And then if somebody pops in, we'll do that too.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Penny Van, would you mind if I pulled a card for you? And remember, people, you got to know, you got to have a sense of humor around these. The colorful language and all. It's
And go ahead and say the word.
all right.
This one's for Penny Van. She just hopped in. So,
All right. So
surprise,
Penny. Penny, I'm going to pull a card for you. Penny.
And when you're done with Penny Van, our buddy Tex just sent me a text and he asked if you'd pull a card for him too.
Oh, absolutely. So Penny, this is for you. Get the fuck out of your head. Get in your heart. It misses you. So a lot of this, I think the message behind this is stop thinking with your head and start feeling with your heart and your gut. Because with Penny, I'm just feeling overthinker, over analyzing things. It's like you need to remember the gut check comes from the gut. So whenever you're in that situation where you feel it's like, I can't make a decision, what do I do? It's like this. You have to shift your awareness, and I'll explain what this means. So if you put your awareness in the palm of your hand, right, and you start focusing in the palm of your hand, that's where your awareness is right now.
Right.
So ask a question that you need like an intuitive guidance with. Move your awareness to your gut. Like move your mind, focus on your gut, ask the question. Your gut's not going to like you. You might not like the answer you get. You know, most of us don't. But put your awareness there, ask that question, and see how you feel around it. I mean, you need psychics. You do not need a psychic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As people been asking, if this is cool, as people been asking, I'll put them in, I'll star them, and then I'll put their name up, and then that'll be, is that cool to do it that way?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going back to chat. And I'm going in order. If you would do text, because he did text me before. Absolutely.
And Penny, I'm glad that helps you. That's what it's about. Sometimes we just need that validation, you know, or like for me, I need a good kick in the ass every now and then to get the point because I'm very stubborn.
Yep.
And, you know, I should know better by now, but I'm just like everybody else. I can give people readings and do that, but when it comes to me, I'm clueless. So,
Understand that.
let me go.
And that's how it
text.
always works.
Yeah. So text. Let's just see. Tex has got way too much going on. And it's funny because I remember now, because Brandy, I think I called you out on my show for the same thing.
You did?
Yeah, but Tex, I just feel like you got too many irons in the stove right now, or oven, or the fire, I should say. But that's not even the card. I'm still going to pull a card, but I just feel you need to prioritize some things, because I just in your energy, I feel overwhelmed. But let me just see what comes up here. Get some fucking sleep. So the backside, I'll read it to you. It says, "You're being an ass because you're fucking tired. Face to pillow now."
That's awesome. That's
But yeah,
awesome.
Tex, I just think it's time to just prioritize some things you have going on and kind of just let some things go by the wayside.
So
Tex says, amen to that.
So the next one that commented is Button 68.
Button 68. Hello, Buttons. Get the fuck outside. Get the fuck outside. Move your ass. Your body is pissed at you right now. So Buttons, let me just see what else comes along with this too. All right. I don't make predictions. I just said that over and over. So I don't know where this is coming from, but I need to talk about, is there I feel like there's a baby coming into the family. I don't know if somebody's expecting. I need to talk about this baby. So I don't know if there's something with that coming into your family, your extended family, but I just need to talk about the baby. So maybe a surprise. I hope I didn't ruin something just now, but I don't know. And if it's not for you, that's fine. I just felt like this need to talk about something's coming. So,
Well, a cat's out of the bag if it wasn't.
yeah. All right. So, all right. Who's next?
Next one would be, let me get over here to, sorry, my clicking hand is slow. And my internet's not helping either. Sherry Griffey.
Sherry. Yeah, I don't want to say that somebody is having a baby. I just felt this, and it might not even be connected to you. That's why I put that out there. But as far as for Buttons, yeah, it's like it's time to get the body moving a little bit more than you are.
Yep.
I don't know if I got to go back to Buttons. Sorry. And then I'll go to Sherry. But Buttons, are you having any kind of knee issues? That's where I feel this movement's going to help you. Not that I predict anything with medical. I just feel like, I don't know, is that she brought up the baby too. So Buttons, are you having any issues with your knees? I just feel like exercise may help. Again, I'm not predicting or prescribing anything. I just feel like movement will be beneficial to you, and I'll leave it at that. And now I'll go on to Sherry. Let's see, Sherry, what's going on with you? So Sherry, believe what you see. So the backside of this says, face reality or live in fucking la la land. Choose bravely. With this card, I just feel it's like a reality check to, no, you're not imagining this situation. It's actually happening. I don't know. I just feel like there's this butting of heads between you and somebody else right now. And in your mind, you're trying to make sense of the feeling I get is like that person wouldn't do that. That's the feeling I get. And it's kind of like in your mind, you're trying to make sense of this situation. Does that connect at all with you, Sherry? And again, for anybody who's new to me, be brutally honest. If it doesn't make sense, don't be afraid to say, no, that does not make sense to me.
Real quick, back to Buttons. Buttons said, I was in a head-on wreck 20 years ago, knee and ankle.
Okay.
And then Button 68 says, my walking partner has been out of commission the last 2 weeks, so we're just starting back up today.
Good.
That's
Hopefully
awesome.
that'll get you back to feeling good.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know Sherry just got out of the hospital today, so it might take her a minute to comment back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
She might be a little bit still groggy.
Yeah, if she makes sense of that or not. But yeah, it's just a matter of sometimes we have that thought of, is this really happening? And sometimes you just got to know that, yeah, it is. It's that gut feeling again. You know, it's unfortunate, but some people in our lives don't have our best interest in mind.
Right.
And it's difficult to deal with. But I think what that card and this message represents is sometimes it's like, unfortunately, people do strange things at times. And if you
said, yes, it does make sense.
Okay. So I always get, it comes along this, and this is not what I'm feeling. This is just an example. But you have people ask, one of the top 3 questions any psychic gets is my significant other cheating on me? You already know the answer. It's one of those situations, this is going on. You might not want to acknowledge it or believe it, but deep down inside, it's like that feeling is coming from somewhere. So again, it's not the situation you're going through. That's the feeling I get. It's just, I know this is going on. I can't prove it, but I just have this feeling that something is not right. And that's most of the time, it's your intuition saying, sorry, but something's funky. Just proceed with caution.
Yep. Next one is Donnie Cho Says Stuff.
Hello, Donnie. How you doing? Let's see, Donnie. I don't know, Donnie. There's something about celebration for you coming up. So I don't intentionally predict the future. I'll just say that. But sometimes things just come into my awareness. I just feel there's something about a promotion coming up for you. I don't know what context. I'm still shuffling. But I just feel like there's a congratulations coming up for you. I'll say I'm seeing within the next 3 months. But here's your card. It's not everyone else's fault. It's yours. You're a grown-ass adult. Stop blaming others for your shit.
That's funny. These cards are great, man. We're just going to have to do a show with all cards. All cards.
Oh, these are great. These are, because it's like they're face value for what they say, but there's always something that comes along with that.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, next one is, let me click away. I'm slacking on the clicking. It's Crystal J.
Hey, yes. Crystal. Let's see what comes up here. So, Crystal, what the hell are you waiting for? Get that shit done. If you're waiting for a sign, well, here it fucking is. So stop procrastinating.
Yep.
And Crystal, yeah, I already know. It resonates with you. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is War Criminal 7.
All righty. War Criminal. Let's see what's going on. So War Criminal, here it is. So you have this feeling, you just can't shake it. That little voice inside your head, listen to that shit. Let me just see if I can get something. I
got to tell you, with War Criminal, Brandy and I are good friends with him, and some of the things that he and I have talked about, that I know resonates with him.
Okay, good. So, wow. I just got to put this out there, whether this resonates for you or not, War Criminal. I just saw like something being signed, like a contract, and what I'm seeing is just to be very cautious about signing make sure you're reading these documents, whatever this is. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but just be very careful when it comes to doing anything with contracts.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that makes sense, but if I feel it, I say it.
Yep, that's the way to
Right.
do it.
Well, like we were talking about earlier, I mean, this may not be happening now. It could be happening a year from now. Who knows?
Mhm. Looks like Crystal McGee is next.
Hello, Crystal. Crystal. Crystal, you need some yoga in your fucking life. Or you need some fucking yoga in your life. Ancient shit is cool. Crystal, do you have abilities? That's immediately when I saw yoga and like the movement of your body, I just feel like opening pathways, and I just feel like working with abilities. Does that make sense, Crystal? There's something about I'm feeling like energy work. That's what's first in my awareness is energy work.
Very cool.
So if you're curious about that, I think it's just a sign to maybe just start exploring that. Yes, makes sense. Okay. Don't become overwhelmed either, Crystal. There's a lot of information out there that you're going to experience. And that was my case. I just had to really focus on what interests me. What am I pulled towards?
Yeah.
So I just feel it's a time. Maybe this is just a reminder to like, again, you have free will to do it or not do it. But what I feel with this is just take some time to maybe just think about some things. See what you feel and just go with it.
King of, okay, I'm going to slaughter this.
Mundu? I'll just go King. King, how you doing?
Yeah, King.
Yeah, it is, Crystal. There's a lot of information out there. Lots of information.
Mm-hmm.
So King, let's just see. Oh, here we go. So this is interesting. It says that project, that person, that idea is waiting. Get after that shit. The world has your back. So I feel this is just a message of stop procrastinating on something. I feel this is like, let me just feel into this. This feels like something like your life's passion that you've put off to the side that keeps coming up and keeps coming up. And I think this is just a reminder to maybe just don't look at this as something you have to do or has to mean something besides just bringing you enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever's nagging at you right now, that passion, it's just maybe a reminder to consider doing something about it.
Awesome. All right. Val, if there's time, I'll take a card. Thank you.
So Val, let's see what comes up for Val. Oh, that one came jumping right out. Let's see what this one says. So Val, you need a good fucking cry. Get that ugly cry on. Let that shit go. Your soul will thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful one there.
That's just what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what I was going to say.
Yep.
All right. A spiritual odyssey. I think I missed her comment earlier, but yeah.
Let's see. Spiritual Odyssey. I don't know. This just rebel, I should say, because fuck it. I think you need to adapt more of that that attitude of fuck it. Let me just see where this comes into play, though. Give you some context of what I'm feeling. I feel it's about shaking off the fear about we conjure up in our mind. We have a nice, or let me start from the beginning. And just an example that I'm feeling. So you get this idea that you want to pursue, but what's your mind start to do? Well, I can't do that. I don't have the time. I have this, I have that. And before you know it, you're stopped before you even have a chance to begin. I think this is a reminder that if you have something you want to do, there is no tomorrow. That is not guaranteed. It's like, fuck it. This is what's going to make me happy. I need to fucking do it. So I think it's just a message of stop procrastinating. Yeah. So I hope that
you know,
makes
that
sense.
does resonate. We just talked to her. We just talked to her yesterday about a project that she was getting together. So there you go. There you go. There's your answer. Do it.
Yep. Next
So
one
Penny,
is ready.
absolutely. Yeah, I was just Penny. If
Oh, I'm
somebody comes into my awareness, I will definitely say something. It's just right now
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
kind of just focused on the cards. So ready. Let's see. What we
Yeah,
got.
Michael will definitely stop us in our tracks.
Oh yeah, for sure. Believe me. And again, for everybody watching, it's not that your people don't want to come through. It's not that. Don't ever take it at that. Always know that they are around us. They are.
Yep.
It's just in a group setting like this, it's one or two will come through, and that's all me. You know, right now I'm just concentrated on the cards, and the other, you know, I'm in the psychic faculty now, if you will, because I'm connecting with your energy, and that's where my focus is. So let me just see what we got for Ready here. Ready. So Ready, you're being shady. Watch out, shit could get ugly.
Uh-oh.
Let me just see what I feel about that, though. See if I can give you some context. So this is interesting. Ready? Because this is what I feel. It's like you're not being honest with yourself about something. That's what I feel. I just want to leave it at face value. Does that make sense for you? Ready? I just feel like there's something going on. It's almost like you need to face a reality that you don't want to. You don't want to approach this thing. Okay.
Ready says, yes, you're right.
Okay. And that's hard, you know, but that's where the healing comes in. That's where we break through these barriers. Because a lot of times we have something we don't want to face. So what do? We fucking bury that thing away. And guess what? It's going to keep coming up and keep coming up until you acknowledge it, face it, heal from it, work through it, and fucking put that shit behind you.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ready, I can deal with that. I understand. You know, I went through kidney failure, dialysis, transplant. It's one of the hardest things I ever went through in my life, but there was so many positive things that came out of that I did not see then. But looking back, it was like, this sounds weird, but it was a magical time in my life. Because looking back, there were so many good things, so many good people that helped me, you know, and it was amazing. It was an amazing experience.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so next one is Paranormal Pixie.
All right. Oh, Randy, you have kidney issues too? I just got to say this, you know, this was one of the hardest things I had to do, but I had to learn to live one day at a time. We always hear that we have to live in the moment, right? The cliches, live in a moment. I literally had to do that or I would have lost my fucking mind. Because if I would have allowed my mind to wander about what may happen someday, I would not be able to function. So was it hard or was it easy? Fuck no, it wasn't. But every time I felt my mind go into that dark place, I would always bring it back to like, how do I feel right now in this moment? Yeah. And that's all that mattered. I couldn't worry about the future. So,
Paranormal Pixies next.
All right, Laura, let's see here. So, Laura, step away from that crazy making diet for a hot second. Kale and I can never see this. Spirulina tastes like ass. Eat some yummy shit. Bacon, chocolate, beer. Get some.
I just step away from the diet.
That's right. I just feel like you got to give yourself that cheat day every now and then and not feel guilty about it.
Yep. That's funny. Little Patty is next.
Little Patty. Let's see what we got. I don't know what this means, so I'm going to leave it at face value and see if it makes sense to you, Little Patty. Ask a fucking expert. Don't rely on your friends or the internet. Listen to a damn professional.
There we go.
That's kind of straightforward, isn't it?
It is.
That is.
Little Patty, are you doing anything with real estate right now? Is there anything going on with the selling of a house or buying of a house? I don't know why I just got this fleeting thought around real estate with Little Patty. I don't know.
Okay.
But on to the next.
To the next. Cynthia Prince.
Okay. What the hell are you waiting for? Get that shit done. Oh, here it is. If you're waiting for a sign, well, here it fucking is. Another one of those.
Another one of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Stop procrastinating.
Okay. So let's go to the next one.
Bacon's always a good choice and good advice.
That's right. Just curious. Just curious will be next.
All right, just curious. Let's see what we got here. Take a shot. Don't take 12. Just take 1 or 2 and move on.
There you go.
Sorry, just curious. The message that I'm feeling with this is like pull the stick out of your ass and lighten up a bit.
Right.
Sorry.
There you
I just feel that. It's like you got to find your sense of humor again. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just feel I need to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just feel you've been caught up in some drama or something. It's like you just need to fucking just, yeah.
Yep. All right. And then the last one is Courtney McGee.
Hello, Courtney. Let's see what we got. Let's see. So, Courtney, you are the best thing to ever happen to you. Go easy on your ass. Buy your own damn drink. I think it's just a reminder to celebrate who you are and appreciate who you are.
Yeah.
I also need to say this because this is what I'm feeling. It's like you don't see the impact that you have on other people. I think it's something that you need to pay attention to, that you're impacting people far beyond what you realize.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just what I'm feeling from you is the kindness that you show other people that has a ripple effect. So I think this is just a way for what I feel is like your guides coming in to like to remind you you're a good person and you're making a difference.
Awesome. Awesome. Very cool.
That
Very
is
cool.
cool.
Well, we're coming up to the 1.5 mark.
Oh boy, that goes quick.
Yeah.
I know. I
that
told
was
you. I
fun.
told you we get started and it just goes quick. It's like, boop.
Courtney,
Yep.
Courtney just commented. She says, I definitely needed to hear that. Being an empath is hard on me.
It is. It is. It's like the problem we have is we can't fix everybody, and that bothers us.
Right.
Mhm.
And it's
Sure.
just there's sometimes you just got to remember that there's only so much you can do, and the other people have to be willing to work on themselves. But it's just in your nature that you want to fix everybody, and you just got to realize that you can't, and you have to learn to be okay with that.
Mhm.
And you just have to
Yeah.
put yourself first. That's not being selfish, but you need to take care of yourself first, or you're no good to anybody. So
Absolutely.
Right.
We'll have to
Right.
bring you back and just do cards. That's
I
fun.
would love
Yeah.
it. I'd
I
love
mean,
it.
not that I don't like the readings. I think the readings are great too, and they bring comfort to a lot of people. However, the cards are great. They really are.
Yeah.
They are really, really good. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, they're the in your face. Here it is.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Well, we definitely appreciate everybody tuning in and joining us and Michael and I'm going to drop his link again in chat. And if you guys
Yes,
please
we're going to
go
try and get his
subscribe.
YouTube running, so he'll get over on YouTube.
Yeah. And then you guys will be able to go over on YouTube and watch them. So
Right.
if you guys, everybody would go in and subscribe, and also hit the notification on his channel so you can tell when he goes live.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this, everybody. I really do. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And once again, Brandy, you know what's coming up tomorrow for Tex on that show?
He'll tell me to borrow.
Okay. Well, I can't
That's what he
pre-advertise.
does. Yeah, he'll tell me tomorrow. He's so funny like that because I think he likes to watch me on his shows just fly by the seat of my pants.
Yep, absolutely. So, it kind of Rob's kind of the same way because I never know either until like sometimes it's show day.
I think
So,
they do that
I
on
get it.
purpose.
Right. Just keep us in the dark. Anyway, we appreciate everybody tuning in. I will mention real quick, Thursday night, we have Kathy and Aaron from the Ray County Museum in Richmond, Missouri. Friday night, our show is once again going to be taken over by who, Brandy?
So far, what we have is Tex and Donnie Cho. We're looking to see if Jason McLean comes over. But basically, the beards and bandanas are taking over again.
Yep.
Again.
And the reason being is Brandy and I will be at the Ray County Museum. We're traveling there, and then we are going to bring you guys a special live Saturday night show live from the Ray County Museum, and we're going to do some investigating. And so that's going to be fun. So if everybody would tune in next week to that, we definitely appreciate it. And
exactly. But we were glad everybody came and showed up. And
yes, absolutely. And once again, please keep Nellie Turner in your prayers. She could really use them. Also, Josh too, and the rest of the family. Keep all of them in your prayers. Sherry Griffey, she did just get out of the hospital, so say some prayers for her. And thank you to Be Kind. We appreciate and love you very much. Thank you, and welcome to the membership, Sheila. We appreciate that as well. So it's been fun, guys.
Yes, definitely.
It's been fun. Until next week, we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.